It was a February morning in Milton Keynes. 19-year-old Leah Croucher set out on her familiar half-hour walk to work, just as she had done countless times before. But on this day, she never arrived. When she failed to return home, her family's concerns turned quickly to dread. Calls went unanswered, her phone was silent, and by nightfall, Leah had vanished. What followed was one of the most extensive missing person investigations in recent UK history. An investigation marked by false leads, haunting discoveries, and devastating questions about justice and accountability. For Leah's loved ones, it became a nightmare that would stretch on for years and end in the most heartbreaking way imaginable. This is the story of Leah Croucher. Leah Croucher was born on August 14th, 1999, and lived in Milton Keynes, UK with her parents John and Claire. She was especially close to her older half-siblings Hayden and Jade. Her family described Leah as bright, confident and loving, a young woman who preferred the comfort of a good book or a night in watching a movie and TV rather than going out. She was also active on social media, particularly Snapchat, where she kept in touch with her friends. Leah shared a special bond with her brother Hayden. Together, they practiced taekwondo taught by their father, who was an instructor. Leah excelled in the sport, even competing internationally, and the discipline became something that connected the family deeply. On Thursday, February 14th, 2019, Leah finished her day at the finance company where she worked and began her usual walk home. At 5:45 p.m, for reasons still unknown, the location settings on her phone were switched off, something she had never done before. Leah arrived home around 6 p.m, changed clothes and told her mother she was heading out to visit friends, which was unusual for her. She returned at 7:15 p.m. and by all accounts appeared calm and her evening seemed normal. At 10 p.m, Leah said goodnight to her parents and went to bed. It would be the last time they ever saw her. Friday, February 15th, 2019. Leah woke around 7:30 a.m. and got ready for work. With her parents already gone for the day, she left her home at Quantock Crescent at around 8 a.m. for her usual 2-mile walk. She wore a black coat, black skinny jeans, black Converse high tops and a grey taekwondo hoodie. Carrying her Samsung phone and a black rucksack, she was spotted on CCTV at 8:07 a.m. near Lee Hill, and again at 8:15 a.m. on Buscott Lane in Thurston. She appeared to be heading towards Locksbeer Drive and Saffron Way. This would be the last confirmed sighting of Leah. Her mother had often urged her to vary her route for safety, but Leah almost always followed the same familiar path from Thurston through Shenley Lodge and into Knoll Hill. At 8:34 a.m, her phone was switched off. She never arrived at work, and when she failed to return home later, concern quickly grew. By 5 p.m, her workplace contacted her parents to report that she had never shown up. Calls to her phone went unanswered. Her bedroom looked normal, her bed neatly made, her belongings in place, but Leah was gone. That evening, Claire Croucher reported her daughter missing, while John went out searching.
It's been 2 weeks since Leah Croucher went missing while walking to work. Leah was last seen in Buscott Lane in Thurston, where she was captured on CCTV at about 8:15 in the morning on Friday the 15th of February. I can confirm that 2 weeks on, we still have no further confirmed sightings of Leah since that time. Leah's usual route to work would be via Buscott Lane and then into Faraday Drive, using the redways to travel north to Kelvin Drive in Knoll Hill. We know that this is the route that Leah took to work on the 13th and the 14th of February. However, extensive CCTV work has shown us that she did not arrive in Faraday Drive on the morning she went missing. Our appeal today is to urge anybody in the area between Buscott Lane and Faraday Drive after 8:15 in the morning on Friday the 15th of February, or who has dash cam footage or CCTV from that day, please come forward and speak to us. Today we are releasing new footage of Leah taken from the 14th of February. This shows her, as she did most days, walking to her place of work. We hope this will help jog somebody's memory.
Local news carried her story, and witnesses came forward claiming to have seen a girl matching her description walking near Thurston Lake between 9:30 and 11:15 a.m. Specialist search teams, dogs, helicopters and dive units scoured the lakes near her route. Nothing was found. Appeals were made at Milton Keynes Dons football stadium, and a social media campaign spread awareness. Donations poured in to fund a reward, but still no trace of Leah emerged. CCTV that had always caught her on Faraday Drive failed to capture her that morning. Had she taken a different route? Were the witness sightings real or mistaken identity? Meanwhile, Leah's brother Hayden was struggling deeply with her disappearance. He was accused of threatening a man rumoured to have been involved with Leah, a work colleague 9 years older, reportedly engaged to someone else at the time. Hayden believed this man had groomed his sister. Police investigated thoroughly, but found no evidence of a relationship, and the man was ruled out as a suspect. Hayden was given a restraining order, but his grief grew heavier. 7 months after Leah vanished, her case featured on the BBC's Crime Watch. A new witness reported seeing a grey hoodie floating in Blue Lagoon Lake back in February. A 10-day search followed, but yet again, no answers. Then, in November 2019, tragedy struck the Croucher family once more. Overwhelmed by despair, Hayden took his own life at just 24 years old. Despite vigils, fundraisers, and the reward being raised to £20,000 in 2021, no lead surfaced. On the 3rd anniversary of Leah's disappearance, police released a photo taken by a passerby of someone dressed in black near Thurston Lake on the morning Leah went missing. It seemed to validate witness accounts of a distressed woman seen in the same area, but police later confirmed the figure in the photo was not Leah. Later that year, another witness came forward. She claimed that on the morning of February the 15th, she saw a black car with a man in his 30s or 40s driving, and a passenger with their feet up on the dashboard. Feet she described as too small for an adult man's shoes, likely female. She recalled the driver twisting violently, as if to push someone down. But she couldn't see the license plates, and her report, like so many, led nowhere. Then, after 3 years, 8 months, and 3 days, everything changed.
On Monday, at about 6:30 p.m, police were contacted with information about a property in Lockspear Drive, Thurston, Milton Keynes. We promptly attended, and a number of items were located inside the property. These items included a rucksack and personal possessions belonging to Leah, who was reported missing on the 15th of February 2019. Sadly, human remains were also found inside the property, close to the rucksack. As a result of our findings, Thames Valley Police changed its investigation from a missing person investigation to a murder investigation. As I stated, the investigation is moving at pace, and as such, I can share with you some further updates today. But at the very outset of our investigation into the disappearance of Leah, we assigned this case our most experienced and capable team of detectives, led by a senior investigating officer. This attests to our determination to find Leah. Thereafter, we immediately and thoroughly followed every reasonable line of inquiry. We committed hundreds of officers and staff to the search for Leah, reviewing 1,200 hours of CCTV, conducting more than 4,000 house-to-house inquiries, searching lakes, open land and woodland. We have sustained and significant media appeals and offered several public rewards for information. But sadly, the call from the member of the public that we received on Monday this week was the first occasion that information was made available to enable the investigation team to provide any link between that address in Lockbeer Drive and Leah. Prior to this, in the course of visiting those 4,000 properties, I can confirm that number 2 Lockspear Drive was visited on at least 2 occasions. However, there was no response at the house. Therefore, we dropped a leaflet through the letterbox requesting a callback if the occupants of the property had any information. In addition to the house-to-house inquiries, we also visited the property to scope what CCTV may be available in the area. Since we were alerted to this property on Monday evening, we have established that the property is owned by someone who lives overseas and rarely visits the United Kingdom. It is now known that the owner was not in the UK at the time Leah was reported missing, and the house was unoccupied when police attended on these inquiries. Today, I am able to confirm that we have nominated a suspect in this case. His name is Neil Maxwell. However, Maxwell was found dead on the 20th of April 2019, having taken his own life. It is unusual to name a suspect, but we have also learned this week that during the time when Leah went missing, and whilst the owner of the property was not in the UK, Maxwell was the only person to have keys to that property.
Maxwell was a convicted sex offender, violent, dangerous, known to the police. When Leah disappeared, he was already wanted for another assault. He moved from place to place, using burner phones, rental cars, but he wasn't invisible. Employers warned police. An ex-girlfriend said it outright, "If you don't stop him, he will kill." Those words were ignored. When Leah went missing, police searched the house at Lockspear Drive, not once, but twice. And twice they walked away. They never went back. They never searched properly. And all the while, Leah was inside. For 3.5 years, her family begged for answers. But the truth sat hidden in that attic. By the time detectives linked Neil Maxwell to Leah, it was too late. He had killed himself in April 2019, just weeks after Leah vanished. The only man who knew what really happened was gone, and with him, justice. In June 2024, an inquest confirmed the family's worst fear. Leah had been abducted and murdered, most likely on the very day she disappeared. The coroner condemned the failures. A violent predator, supposedly monitored, was left free to kill. Warnings ignored, oversight collapsed, and the decision not to return to that house, a devastating mistake that changed everything. For Leah's parents, no official words could ease the pain. She was only 19, her whole life ahead of her. At the house, where she was finally found, they left a note. "Our darling Leah, our darkest fears have come true. We only need to be apart a little longer now. We have missed you for so long already. The future looks so bleak now that we know we will never see your smile or hear your laugh again. We will cherish your memories forever. We love you, Mum and Dad." Her funeral was held at Crown Hill Crematorium. Crowds lined the streets in the rain, her coffin draped in Gryffindor flags, a tribute to her love of Harry Potter. Friends and strangers released balloons with messages like "Fly high and reach for the skies." Leah's case is not just a tragedy, it's a failure. A predator left free, a house searched but not investigated, and a family destroyed by mistakes that should never have been made. And it leaves one brutal question. Could the police have done more? If they did, would Leah still be alive today? We will never know. But what we do know is that a bright, young person was taken away too soon and will be missed every day by those that loved her.